Hello my choir people, welcome to another episode on CDS with Shekinah Choir Drama Series. Yes, I want to talk to you my people. Yes, you. Don't go anywhere. Sit back, I'll be right back. When you realize that your heart is now full of resentment, bitterness, anger towards people in your choir, when you realize that you are no longer happy anymore, those things that used to make you happy now makes you very, very, very sad. You have tried and tried to pretend to mask up your feelings with smiles, but deep down inside of you, you are in bitterness, you are in frustration, you are in sadness, you are in pain, you are in hate. It's time to step aside. Rather than continue in that choir and be full with all this negative spirits, rather than continue in the choir, singing and smiling while your heart is deep with a lot of bitterness, it's time to step aside. Step aside, my sister, my brother, when you don't seem to want to agree or respect your music director anymore. He used to be your mentor, used to be a likable person, used to be someone that you honored and revered, and suddenly you begin to see him as someone who is not worth your respect and honor, and you begin to see him as someone that is beneath you and you cannot listen to anymore. Rather than continue there and becoming a rebel, it's time to step aside. Yes, step aside. When the passion and the drive that you had for the choir had suddenly developed wings and disappeared, you have tried to work it out mechanically and it's not flowing anymore. Rather, you are now seeing your passion and your drive as a burden. You are not seeing the love you have for your choir as a yoke. Everything now, you are now complaining. Rather than becoming a nuisance, it's best to step aside. Yes, with all due respect, step aside. You used to be very, very proud about your choir. You brag about them anywhere you go. But suddenly you are now very ashamed of your choir. You cannot stand them anymore. And you are not ready to be part of the solution to get them up from where they are to that higher level that everybody desires. Rather than becoming a complainant and rather than becoming an Achan amongst the choir, it's best to step aside. Yes, by all means, step aside. When all you do at rehearsals is to frustrate your music director, you are always at his neck, you are always waiting to get at him because you are probably emotionally unstable. Maybe you are going through some things in your personal life that is affecting your outward expressions, and you are taking it out on your choir, and you don't seem to want to be able to manage this phase of your life. Rather than becoming a rebel, rather than becoming someone that your music director will have to pray out and cast out, it is time to step aside. Yes, step aside. When you are not ready to become an addition anymore to your choir, all you do is to complain. And you complain and compare your choir in a derogative manner to other choirs. You don't seem to say anything nice anymore about your choir. You don't seem to be able to pay just one compliment. Or even after a very good service, you still see everything negative in your choir. What are you doing there? It's best to step aside. This is not to say that every time in your choir you will always be happy on the best of moods. This is not to say that sometimes you might not be affected with one or two things going on in your personal life that might make you to be a bit reserved or withdrawn. But it should be for a while, just for a while. But when it begins to spread and begin to linger for more and more and more months, going into years, you suddenly have lost that spark that you used to have. Rather than coming there and becoming a problem and a trouble and an headache to your music director and your other choristers, it is best to step aside. Yes, by all means, step aside and have a time out to reflect, to think, to have a conversation with yourself. What actually happened? What is going on and what you want to do? Do you want to continue or do you want to stay? Do you want to go on or do you just want to take yourself out? These are the things you do when you step aside. You take yourself out on a retreat, you take yourself out on a relaxation and just think through it and communicate with the Holy Spirit. Let Him help you. But to remain there and begin to cause trouble and begin to make yourself a nuisance and begin to make people begin to wish that you are never there in the first place and begin to make people to begin to bind and to lose you every time, it's best to step aside. By all means, please step aside. With love from Shekinah T. Till I come your way again, please subscribe to my page.